Good evening. Welcome to the Community Recreation Commission for Rosedale Township, Thursday, July 26th. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Tonight we the approval of tonight's agenda. Any additions, deletions, or any such changes? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve.
Second.
Ann, Ethel, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Approval of the minutes from the public hearing of April 26, 2012. I know it's been a while, but we've had a lot going on. But I know that Ethel submitted some changes for Talia, but any additions, deletions? Otherwise, I need a motion to approve.
Approve.
Ethel and Ann. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. All right, public comment? No public. Chairperson's report. Update on the Equestrian Center lease. The Equestrian Center lease has been ongoing pretty much this whole year. We did have a community member go to the board meeting and express their concern about where it's going. It is still not complete. Tim did hear the latest is that hopefully tomorrow that we'll get the copy, but Rob is out of town for a couple of weeks, probably on a show or something like this, so we're hoping by the next meeting it'll be signed, sealed, and delivered. Does anybody have any questions about the Equestrian Center lease? Well, this commission approved for Tim and I just to work with Dale and Ann to get it approved. But of course, everyone can get a copy if so requested. The next thing would be, yes. Oh, okay. All right. Gotcha. Pass these down. We approved the April. Okay. All right. So let me close out the Equestrian Center lease. Anything about that? Any more questions or comments? All right. We got to go back. We have the March 22nd of 2012 meeting minutes. We didn't have those ready for April. But did anyone notice any changes, additions, or deletions from those minutes? Yes, John.
Yeah, for where it says schools.
It's not completed.
For March 22nd, we're talking about, right?
Right, yeah. There's a half a sentence, but then it ends.
What page is that, John?
Yeah,
That's
it's not completed.
the last page.
The last page?
Yeah. Conroy reported that a fundraiser will be held for, and then Never Neverland.
It'll be held for John Conroy.
No, I think that was for the driver of baseball when we had the cards, the euchre tournament at the right here at the Pilot House.
Okay. So for Gyro Baseball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so noted. We'll make those changes.
And then Ethel had another one I had typed post office under the chairperson's report, and it should be township offices.
Okay.
But I'll make those two corrections.
All right. With those changes being noted, I need a motion to approve, please.
So moved.
We got Bill and Helena. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right, moving on next. The golf outing supporting the inline outdoor skating rink on the overhead, and you guys do have a copy up in front of you. We have a community member who's putting together a golf outing to support with the funding of the inline outdoor skating rink. This is the one that Carl Moore's been a big proponent in for the last, 4 or 5 years?
Yes.
And he was doing it just for the winter end of it, the ice rink and stuff like that. We did get the $50,000 grant from Wayne County. We have the, what's the past one called? The one that we're trying for the grant. What's that, something pass?
The what?
The grant we're trying to go over.
Oh, the DNR passport grant,
Passport
yes.
grant.
And they did come out 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
That are grant administrator for our area, and we interviewed us, looked around the facility, so,
And
yep.
he looked at your parking lot, and he said that was...
There was a lady, and she actually liked how, I know that'll probably come up, the big blue parking lot. She did like how we exceeded. She said very few communities don't, but we really exceeded, but she was positive about it, but it needs to be tweaked.
All right. So we got, that one looks like it's going to be moving in a positive direction. We do have another community member working with the Girlsville Hockey Association. They're looking at the World Bank of Canada to get also some more grants from them. So with this golf outing here, they had high expectations, but of course, anyone, please come out, or sign up at the Recreation Department. They take credit cards, stuff like this. This is going to be for Saturday, September 15th, 2012. It's going to be 18 holes. It's going to be dinner included. And if maybe you would like to even donate, we will have like banners if you want to sponsor a hole and such. So please call Rec Department for more information. Any comments or questions about the golf outing? September 15th, correct.
A few more sponsors came through today, so starting to look.
I just heard that Gordon will sign up for the Platinum. So, yes, Uta.
If you can't attend the event, is there someone to whom you can send the donations? There's a lot of things going on the 15th, and if you want to maybe mention...
Right, correct, thank you. The donations will be accepted through Rec Department or through Ann Darzniak, our city financial officer. What is her title?
Finance Director.
Finance Director, sorry, Ann. But yes, anything that you guys would like to do. I know hockey's really big at Girls Heels, so it would be much appreciated. I'm sure a lot of kids will enjoy it. Any other questions or comments about that? All right, moving on, recreation.
I think I have a comment.
Yes.
John? My only concern is that, as I recall in the master plan, this was not a hockey rink, it was a skating rink. And I want to make sure we're remembering that when we're scheduling its use, because I realize it's the size that it has to be to hold tournaments, but
Yeah, it'll be
the master
more,
plan says it's a skating rink, not a hockey rink.
right, and it'll have multi-use, just like the basketball court's turning out to be.
Well, I think Leah's point is well taken, so that, figure skaters know that they have a shot at using the rink just as much as the hockey.
At some time other than 4 in the morning.
Yes.
Good call.
Touche. Okay, Recreation Director's report. Tim, what do you got for us regarding the facilities, program, and budget updates?
Okay, I tried to give you a couple-page rundown from the last couple months, because I know we didn't meet due to Island Fest, and then last month people were busy. And we went over different facilities, whether Water's Edge Farm, services, and I thought I'd give you a good picture of what's going on. You covered the lease situation. I know that's a very important thing to everyone. Water's Edge financials, you should have had those in your packet. We're running ahead in golf at the moment compared to last year's revenues.
Yeah, but what's the water bill?
Well, yep, it's that time of year. But yeah, the revenues are there.
Wait a minute, aren't we getting water from the river?
I don't know. I hope so.
Oh, for golf? Yeah, that's all from the river. Pump station.
I thought it was coming from the pool.
Yeah. But anyway, I gave you a brief update, and we're running ahead with a week to go, and we've had a few, like $1,500, $1,700, $1,200 days this week, so that's on top of what you see there. So I think we're doing pretty good. But you know how the weather has a lot to do with it. I think we've slowed down a tad because of the hot weather, but I think the good hot weather has helped us also. So, but I'm pleased with the progress. It is in comparison to the rainiest season we've ever experienced, so you got to look at that. So we try to see both sides.
And the boiler's working good. I'm glad we got that heated pool going this summer, right?
Yeah, that's working fine. Yep. And then I just did the handout go for the marina all the way down.
Okay, yep, everyone got a copy, I believe.
Yeah, I knew Mike wasn't going to be here. I wanted to give a little more detail up front. 56 of 58 slips. Sometimes you heard me say we have 56 slips, 58 slips. If you look towards the shoreline where the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, you see one that says unusable. and then there's a couple more to the right, to the north. Those sometimes, with the water level, we can't use them. So right now, we allow people to use those for $300, which seems kind of dirt cheap. This year, it would seem that because, there's enough water there to dock their boat. We may want to look at that and raise that a teeny bit next year, but we've always charged $300 for those. But there's those three right across there, starting with 3-1, 4-1, and 5-1. Otherwise, all the other docks are full price. It's the length of the boat or the dock, whatever's longer, times $43.75. And that's how we generate money for summer docking. But a lot of times the commissioners don't get an opportunity to actually look at the marina, who's in there, how full it is, what's going on there. So feel free to ask questions about the marina. But I think 56 out of 58, and we're right on target with our summer dockage revenue projection. And I hope winter storage comes through, too. I mean, usually if the summer dockage is good, the winter storage follows. We've done quite a bit of maintenance down there. There was a dock, you've seen the tugboat down there on the north, kind of a half tugboat. It's towards a travel lift. That dock hadn't been repaired in about 20 years. It's a real broad, 2 decks and then a finger dock. We replaced all the wood this year on that dock. I thought it was good because it was becoming very unsafe. Replaced a lot of downboards. We had to replace some boards on the boardwalk that was done a couple years ago. And the people we had working on it also trimmed up from the flagpole north. The boards were kind of overhanging. We trimmed all that up and made it much neater also. So, but yeah, there's a lot going on. Programs have been real strong. I just left a concert tonight. The attendance is down with that due to the weather. But this was our straight ahead rock and roll. It's more like a Megadeth, Quiet Riot, and Slayer. I think we were blowing a few people off the porch there when I left. But just kidding a little bit. But we do try to mix it up. It's try to get all the different genres of music in. We had some more folk to begin the season. We had the 60s, kind of the peace hippie music. I'm trying to think what we have. Kevin and the Glenn Levins did a little bit of Irish and more pop music. And this year this week we had straight ahead rock and roll, and then we always end with a big band in a couple weeks, and that's usually probably our biggest draw.
Your concert on the Commons really seems to be growing too.
That's really supported by the Art Alliance. I mean, we bring in, we advertise it, and we occasionally bring sound in for them. But that's really done by the Art Alliance, and then little things that they need, chairs or sound systems, but the promotion. But we work with them, but they do the grunt of the work there.
They do a good job.
Yeah. But there's so many things going on. The van service is going real well, not as busy as normal as far as ridership. I don't know if it's the heat, but the meals, we've got about 19 people we're delivering to.
What's the latest with the van?
I was trying to, we use our senior service money. I was trying to get the van through ADA, and right now Block Grant says it won't qualify for that. We could get the lift through ADA, but the van, we'd have to find some other funds. But I'm still trying to work with them to see if there's an opening, and I'm working with Ann and Dale and Joan Hennessy from Wayne County. The farm rentals we've been extremely busy on the weekends, whether it's community groups or rentals. It's just constant hopping. I mean, we're covering a lot of different things right now. So
now, how have the new rules been working out as far as cleanup and stuff like that, deposits? I mean, everything's been pretty good with that? Do you have any issues?
I think the community groups have improved, but I think some of our rentals need some work. And Sue usually, she'll give me a detail every Monday morning, and sometimes she's just dead tired from, mopping sticky stuff this thick off, from some party. But most people are very good about it, but then you get those that, aren't as good. We always are working on it. We have them do a lot more than what we used to as far as tables and chairs. And
Tim, do you keep their security deposit if you have that kind of work to follow up on?
We haven't recently, but there has been occasion, not recent. I mean, not this summer. We haven't taken any. We probably could have on a couple, but we did not.
I think I'm not suggesting that you be nasty about it, but again, protect your people. And I know that it's always a fine line. You don't want to be perceived as being a nasty,
right?
Facility renter. But
well, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, but didn't we have something stipulated that if you didn't clean up, though, I mean specifically, didn't we kind of address this already, though,
It's in
right?
the
What's that?
contract, it's in the rental contract.
Yeah, for them to pick up and move tape, yeah.
And clean
And
up.
clean up,
Clean up.
yes, and take their garbage to the dumpster.
Right.
Yeah, the majority of the people are good, but we've had a few that, you know, when you're busy every day, every week, you know,
Right.
it wears you down a little bit, and, you know, Sue usually details it for me.
Well, stay strong and use that contract. I'm not saying you're not doing it, I'm just saying.
No, I know, no, we need to keep checking, you know, you can get a little lax in areas, I agree.
No, that's not it either. It's just, people sign that contract,
Right.
and they know what they're getting into.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I'd suggest too, say, hey, you know what, leave your deposit here, we'll clean up anyway. It seems like you'll do it anyway, so. So any big things happening in Centennial Farm? Anything coming up soon over there?
Well, we are starting to cool down on the fields. We've done 130 gyro fields this year. That's total support from the rec department. We don't receive any funds for that, so.
That's a record.
Yeah, it's a record, and, but they're both, here's what's happening is, they've got a tremendous group of people running the baseball program right now. I think you saw it in the school teams. A lot of people are coming here to play now because we're doing such a good job at the field. We even hosted a tournament this week, a girls' softball tournament. But they've got their 4 officers that call directly into the office, not all the coaches. It's not, and it's a real streamlined organization, and they're very good about getting a hold of us, and then I give the kids their jobs, but it's gone, and they've done a tremendous job. We've never had anybody do as good as Wally and Nate did this year. A lot of praise from the Gyra people. But 130 fields, you think about an hour and a half on each field times 2 kids, that adds up after a while. And, you know, we do the watering for Gyra at the football field, and we now do the grass cutting. So those are things that weren't in our budget, but we, you know, like water, things get piled on, and, you know, we're just trying to get through it. There's a lot of things to do, but I think we've got a tremendous volunteer staff, part-time staff, and 2 full-time people that know their thing. Mark Tiso and Annette really Peltz do a nice job. And then you have people like John and other commissioners during the week that Ethel, I mean, you can go on and on to everybody that's helping out, but some of the day-to-day stuff, they're right there helping with the programs, so it's working out real well.
How's it going with Mark with equipment? Everything's running good?
We spent a lot of time and a little bit of money this spring, so it's good. I mean, there's always more. He would go over the equipment and tell you exactly there's more to do, but we were able to get some things done. We thought those gang mowers were pretty well dead. We brought them back to life.
That's good.
That list that you provided to all of us, Tim, was incredible. And I know I complimented you in an email.
Thank you.
For the record, I want to go on screen, too, and obviously I think everybody here feels the same way. It's amazing how much you do, your team does, with those small resources that you have right now. It's really, really impressive.
Yeah, they support
You are masters.
myself and the commission. They really work hard. I mean, they give it their all.
Yep.
Any more questions or comments for Tim about any of the updates?
Just one. I've had a few people from Bellevue tell me that they're more satisfied with the noise control from the things going on at the farm.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear
They're much
that.
happier.
Another thing with the farm, too, I was going to mention the baseball and softball's quieting down. We are going to start moving in, and we need to paint behind where the small maintenance barn is. But I do have to work with Rob to get some of those boards done before we move in and paint that. And he was gone this week, but we're going to focus probably the next 2 to 3 weeks on painting fences. We did a lot last year, but if you guys, Helene, if you see anything you think needs to be touched up, let us know, because that's what we're going to switch over to over beginning Monday.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Any more questions or comments, guys? All right, thanks, Tim.
Yes.
Okay, I don't think we have any old business that I'm aware of. Anybody, we have any old business? Any new business? Moving on. Subcommittee updates. Shelke, any open space and greenways updates?
Nothing more than, I think shortly we should be receiving the new trails brochure, if it hasn't already been sent. It was designed and printed the last time I talked with Cliff St. Pierre.
Haven't seen it yet at my office.
Yeah, I haven't either, but keep alert. I'll double check and have a definite report next month.
Thank you. Moreau, Golf Committee update?
Yes, this year we've done pretty well financially because of the weather, and one of the problems that we've encountered because of the hotter weather and sporadic rain, we've encountered some fungus, which you get when you're on the fairways. So Tim and Mark have been working to get some chemicals that will help with that, but it also needs water, and unfortunately, we've had 3 occasions where the water system is broken down, and it's a very delicate situation when you have that system shut down, because it's all of the lining and the tubing is plastic, and when it shrinks, when you let all the water out and then you recharge it, once you fix the problem, you end up with other problems, maybe. And in this particular case, it's happened twice. So they've worked on it real hard and had to dig deep and get in there and get the thing done. And so they've done just a miraculous job, and that's something that they need to do. The volunteers can't help much with that.
Yeah, and if I could just interject,
Yeah.
Gary Tissot, who stayed on as part-time after he retired, he has a really good knack at just preparing for the disease even before they hit. I mean, he knows right when it's going to happen, and sometimes you'll see lights out there late at night. It's not somebody cutting; it's when he has to get it done. But he's really skilled at picking off the disease.
Yeah, that's for sure. And again, we've I think the golf course is looking really great. One thing that we were able to do is I finally got the plaques made for the presentations for the trees. I hope some of you have seen that on television, where we had the people that donated. I know little Ethel over there came over, and she did a great job in making her presentation on the tree that she bought. And then we did Dr. Hudekar and the Senior Golf League, and which Tom Saunders represented. And I did the speaking for Dr. Hudekar because he was busy with other appointments. And trying to think of the other, George Nelson had bought a tree over on number 2. So anyway, it was a very nice, a lot of people have commented on the nice DVD that was shown on cable. So I thank Ted for that, and Ursula was very much involved in that. So that went off real well, and I hope, as a matter of fact, since that, we've gotten 2 phone calls more, so we're hoping that will parlay into other events.
Yeah, they took a lot of time and effort on Bill's part, and that's something we just don't have time for, and he does an excellent job at that, and I appreciate it, Bill.
Yeah, we're relying totally on volunteers. We looked through grants and stuff. Bill looked extensively. You did, Tim, and we can't get any grants for trees. We tried that, right? So.
Possibility like for Airport Park, Playscape, the farm, for golf courses, you can't get the DNR grants for trees.
Or DT.
And just as a reminder, our
Yes.
equipment hasn't, other than that one lawnmower we bought a couple of years ago, our equipment keeps getting older and older, and so we're hoping that this year will be a bonus year for us, and we might be able to buy or replace or update something to help us with the golf course. One thing that Tim mentioned was the gang mowers. We were able to, with a few bucks, we were able to refurbish those, and the reason we did that and spent the money doing it is because we're not getting the lawn cutting volunteers that we need. A lot of people are volunteering for other positions, but we need maybe 1 or 2 more people. We lost one man because he moved off island, and so we're hoping that we can get just a couple of more people who, and this isn't something you're going to have to cut grass for 15 hours. As a matter of fact, some of the guys that come in, they're done in between 45 minutes and an hour and a half. And so if you have the time and the desire, come on down, help us cut grass. That's one of the big things we need. There are some things that we are trying to do to beautify the course, and that is with the trees. And we're going to lose about 7 or 8 trees again this year due to the Scotch pine disease and the other trees that are finally dying from the ash borer. So that's all really I have to say. And if you have any questions or any comments or recommendations to the committee, please get a hold of me or get a hold of me through Tim, and we'll be more than happy to address your concerns. And there's still room to join some of these golf leagues. They're still having a lot of fun, and so come on down. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Woodward Ryan, Centennial Farm, any updates?
Can I read Tim's?
You can do anything you
Thing?
want here.
Since nobody knows about it, Tim sent us a mail as far as the farm work that he's done and the rec commission. He's painted the chicken coop. He's painted the herb garden fence, installed a handrail in the women's bathroom. He's removed the sections of old tile and repaired the subfloor, installed new tile in the activity building, installed and painted 50 feet of fence between the animal shelter and the horse paddock. He's repaired the walls, prepped, painted 2,000 square feet in the activity building with 2 coats. He's replaced 40 feet of damaged fence and gate. And the garden club, if you remember, they were going to do the irrigation system. They presented that. That's been installed.
That is done, huh? Okay.
It's an amazing list.
Beautiful.
That's a lot. Tim, you do a lot.
Well, it's not me. He keeps saying he and me. It's, once again, we named all those people, and we have a couple really good contractors right now that are very affordable, and they work with us.
Smoke and mirrors, baby, right?
Run and shoot offense. Run and shoot.
Run and shoot.
Is that it? All right.
That's it.
Thanks, Elena. Myring, Airport Recreation Area, any updates for you?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Ethel Yops, Senior Citizens, any updates?
Just a few things. First, the Senior Olympics, July the 30th through August the 3rd, that's sponsored by the Huron Township. We have 26 island seniors participating in many of the 26 events, and I think John has some more information on that. We have Pinochle on the first and third Thursdays at the farm at 1 o'clock. August the 8th at 12:30, the Sweet Summertime Luncheon at the farm. Music by Eddie Old, it's $10. Advanced tickets at Water's Edge office. Our phone 675-2364. The senior meeting is August the 14th. It's a family small heirlooms and antique show. 5 people will bring and tell stories, and we have refreshments at 11:15. And I'd also like to again ask you to retain your copies of channels for all the Island Recreation Department events. They're also shown on cable TV, Comcast Channel 12, WOW Channel 10, AT&T on Channel 99. And I'd like to again thank Bill Morrow for all his work on the tree project and all of the volunteers that help with the golf course and the recreation staff, and Tim for his leadership. That golf course is looking great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ethel. Conroy, Senior Olympics in schools, any updates?
Yeah, on the screen, you see the title page for this year's Olympics. The Olympics start Monday morning. We're going to have a 2 o'clock p.m. session, kind of looking at the area to see if what needs to be done, if anything last minute needs to be done. Be happy to have volunteers to come for that. We've had a terrific turnout of ping pong players, and now we have 2 days a week that we're playing ping pong at the Centennial, and we have 9-10 people showing up at both of those days. And we had a competition. We went over to Taylor and took on the boys in Taylor and found out how much we have to improve still. They're pretty good. They play every day. There's so far, the last count I had was over 550 Olympic participants, and coming up in all, with all the events that are going on. 400 plus for the banquet that's coming up that'll be on the 3rd. And everyone is invited for the opening ceremonies, which are approximately 8 o'clock, 8:30 that Monday morning at Huron Township. There'll be a parade with a banner, roll seal banner, torch presentation type thing, and really should be a lot of fun. We're hoping it won't be 100 degrees.
Can you tell them the communities,
I'm sorry?
the different communities that are in?
Oh, I don't know the total number of communities. Tim, do you know that?
Is it on there?
It should be on the sheet, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's see, we got 6, It's like 18.
Don't forget the small island nation of Groseal.
And the Grosse Ile, yeah. And I've gotten to know Walt McCurdy from the Huron Township Rec Director, and he's an excellent guy. It's been a lot of fun, learning all sorts of new things. Each township also, or each city or township donates gifts for a donation table for a raffle.
Can we ask, where are the ceremonies taking place? Is it at Huron High School or
No.
Huron Township Hall? or-
It'll be at St. John's School as part of the St. John's church that's there.
Okay.
And a lot of the events that first day will also be outside on the grounds of the St. John's School.
There's an address inside the book.
Right, the addresses, I didn't have enough to go around for everybody, but the addresses of all the events are in there, as well as the times. And there's some events are happening at Flat Rock at the community center as far as swimming goes. Tennis is here, Grosse Ile. Golf is at Willow, also in Lakes of Taylor. Ping pong is at Taylor at their senior center. But
Will this be listed on our website, Tim, the Recreation Department website?
You mean as far as the results, or?
Well-
We've advertised Seniors Olympics for quite a while.
No, I'm just saying maybe a schedule and locations, or,
You're going to have brochures of rec department, right? These
Right, but I could probably have Ted post that for the weekend. Yeah.
put up a PDF, and that would be, if people want to look it up, then,
Yeah, Grosse Ile's going to be running the tennis and the soccer kick John and I are going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But they need to understand, Tim, they can't take part anymore, just come and watch.
Yeah,
Come and
they're
watch.
set, yep.
yeah.
But we really would encourage everyone to come for the opening ceremonies. It should be a lot of fun.
And some Olympians have been removed already. And there's another one. This is going to really, you're going to laugh about this. The first people that came to pick up their T-shirts, guess what they asked us?
What?
Take one guess. Where were they made?
Where are they?
And we turned it over and looked at the tag, Honduras and Ecuador.
Oh, geez.
So we have Olympians wearing Honduras and Ecuador shirts.
So you're following our own Olympians.
Yes. No offense, I don't mean anything, but that's what they ask, yeah.
Can't go on.
But we didn't have Ralph Lauren design them.
No. Nothing negative meant about that, but isn't that interesting they would ask? And
Good point.
I expressed our good wishes and good luck to Agran Zaberi. I haven't heard from him recently. I'm still hoping that he has tried to coach someone to come over and be a new high school representative. And if that doesn't happen, I'll probably go to one of the school their meetings when the school starts. Also we had 2 donated tables after Pam Pucci's column was in her space in the Yale Camera.
And I see your press in there. Yeah.
We've had a good response there, and let's see. And we've also had some senior high school kids come and play ping pong with us. So that's another avenue we hope to see more of in the future. I want to thank. I thought it was a great interview with the Fruchies, Tim. You on the cable, that was well done. And I thought Ursula was a star at that Magic Bus concert. Those guys really liked her.
What did Ursula do?
She worked the cameras?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
She was rocking along, and it was very well done.
Well, she and her dad enjoyed that music.
And he was there, too, having a good
Yep,
time, too.
yep.
That's right.
I'll say that.
Yeah.
I had to work.
All set, John?
Yeah, that's it for now. Please come out next week and enjoy all the activities that we're going to have.
All right, thank you, John. And anything that applies to
Yes, just real quick, a huge thank you to Tim Rooney for making arrangements with the company trimming trees on the island to also clear some of the brush at the playscape. They did some, and Tim said he would like to have a little more cleared away, so that's great.
I talked to Tim, and he's going to get a hold of you, and we're going to meet over there.
Perfect.
I told him we want it all cleared out.
Okay, great, thanks,
Yes.
Tim.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Ann. Extended public comment? No public, no comment. Individual commissioner comments. Greg, anything you want to add?
No.
Helena?
I have 2 comments.
Yes.
One, I've been asked to announce that this Saturday's the last Saturday for the lacrosse drop-in that's run by the rec department, right? On Saturdays, it's been,
Thank you, coaches. Once again, they're the ones that...
yeah, it's been since June. Let me see if I got this right. Rec department's run, it's lacrosse for 4th to 8th grade. They've had 15 to 25 kids every Saturday.
Wow.
It's been free, and this is the last Saturday for it, and that's the end of it.
And I wanted to add, we had a parent call, a non-resident, that wanted to get involved in lacrosse, and she called back and told us, after dealing and talking to the coaches, she's never met more nice, accepting people, and they love the program, but they couldn't believe how informative and accepting the coaches were when they called to come over and participate in the program. So they're the ones that are there every Saturday. Once again, we put it in the brochure, but it's Greg and, the coaches.
Name the coaches. Mr. Shy down there.
Mr. Shy and Bush.
Greg, give the coaches some credit, please.
Brian should take
Yes,
credit.
big time.
Spirit and everything. And then
Huge.
Ann's husband, Brian Magrin, he does a lot, too, behind the scenes.
And yourself.
Those two guys do a lot of the work.
And their daughter, is she still involved? Yes? Sarah?
No, Sarah.
Oh, no? Okay.
I thank Butch for his time on that program. It's incredible.
him that told me
He's
I had
busy,
to
and
announce it.
the time he gives to those kids is amazing.
I have a personal announcement.
Sure.
About Olympics, since we were talking about Senior Olympics. Stephen Peters, Team Peters, are going to be this is his 5th, he's my son-in-law and married to a Grosio, grew up here but lives in California now, gal that he's going to his 5th Olympics. He's the top U.S. dressage rider in the U.S., and he's probably the 3rd top in the whole world. So he's in London right now. He's got 2 horses. Usually most people have 1, he's got 2.
How do they get their horses over there? By boat?
No, FedEx.
What?
Yeah.
Is it a little Emma?
No.
That guy has a machine that shrinks it.
Yeah.
It's a big box. No.
It is a big box, yeah.
Really? Oh, outstanding. Well,
Do they get peanuts on the trip? No.
Team Peters, right? Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Bill, any extended comment?
Yes, I have a question. I keep getting a lot of people contacting me since it's been an open issue for a year and a half, is why are we not pursuing and what can we do to at least start launching non-motorized vessels at Water's Edge?
That's something I wanted to address too.
Well, as far as starting, are you still doing your kayak classes or anything like that?
No, we haven't done a lot, but if you look every once in a while, people do launch from Water's Edge.
Can we prevent it?
Well, no, we don't want to prevent it, but they're having no problem at all doing it, but a lot of the people are waiting for us to do something that would make it easier for the novice and for the beginner, beyond novice to the experts, to at least have a place to launch a boat. And I just wanted to restate that we made a promise that we were going to do that, but looked like the money went somewhere else. And it wouldn't really take a lot of money to put something in there, and we've done all the research, all the background, and I would like to reinstitute that. Instead of building these things in the backyards of people's yards on the canal. Incidentally, behind my house, and like I said, I've lived on that canal since 1971. The canal now is about 4 feet wide, and it's all solid weeds from that point to the shore. And if anybody were to ever flip upside down in a kayak, goodbye. Now, the ones that go up and down behind my house, and I see them all the time, I don't know where they launch, but there's quite a few kayaks going up and down the canal. They're right in the middle where the water's nice and deep and not weedy.
Have you seen some of the major reports in the newspapers of people using the river? There's been...
They're all over the place.
Yeah, it's been in the news, on paper.
I was just over at Boblo on my boat, and we stayed there from Thursday till Sunday. And I'll bet you I saw 25, maybe 35 kayaks going around Boblo, up and down that area, all over. And it's becoming a very, very popular, as you know, activity.
And I just think we need to do something. And I'm not saying we can't put some somewhere else, but we ought to start where it would be the best and the least expensive with the parking, the safety, and everything involved. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So I would like support, and you and I need to sit down and talk.
We need a subcommittee, and also I'd like to give some strategy, and you can cut it all up. But I think there's a way we can do this, but we'll need a little bit of match money.
Yeah. The Kellogg Corporation, they spent a lot of money on the wind-up one.
I'm talking from the township, but I think we can put enough together through some other sources, but we're going to have to come up with, instead of waiting around for a DNR grant or a Kellogg grant or something like that. I think we could do it, but we need to sit down with a subcommittee, put the plan together. Then I need commissioners and maybe a board member go with me to these people and say, define what we cannot and can't use with these funds, and then we'll know exactly how much we need to match up. But I think we need that kind of launch at Waters Edge that serves everybody, but we could get it. But at the top, it's there's different priorities, so that's what I mean. If we could get it all set and then bring it to the board.
Oh, well, I'm glad you brought it up, because I think it's something that I was going to bring up at the end. We just came from up north, a week up there, and people are launching their kayaks without anything fancy whatsoever. I mean, along the Crystal River, any shallow, someone is launching a kayak. And I know as a commission, we had talked about, and we had cited the south end of the marina where we have the bric-a-brac or whatever they call it. I mean, I know money is an issue and is important, and maybe like the ice rink group, we find private sources and do fundraisers. But I'm wondering if we can't just start by designating a site. What are our rules and regulations that would govern that, in terms of safety and liabilities and so forth, but then get that subcommittee together and start building, because what we have to do is build the support, and organize that support, just like that group did with the ice rink. I mean, it took a few years, but they built the support. We've already got a lot of support for this.
Yeah.
We just have a lot of misdirection, and I think here we've got Water's Edge, and we've got this beautiful availability. We've got parking, and, a lot of the issues that would be faced at other sites are addressed here. We have bathrooms available, we have safety, security, a fence, all those things. So, Bill, I'm totally with you. I think that's something that...
Like when the board asked us to look at the site, Tim had people come down here and look at this, and Tim really feels strongly about this, that the ADA element to it is very important, and it just brings everything else together, and that's what we were looking at this for, an ADA.
But to get to that point, I have to have a team with me, and I need them to sit down, and the people that I have to go to, they need to define what will qualify and what won't.
Right.
We know that certain parts of that launch will qualify under ADA and block grant. We know we could put a 6, not a 18 blue
But
parking
maybe
lot,
we
but a
appease
6.
the situation and get something like what Uta's mentioning, until we
Start
get
small.
funds for ADA, then maybe or something like this. But I think we got to get a clear, concise thing that support from the board, though, I think.
Well, the board is a complicated group of individuals, but I think that if we make a strong case as a commission, and Bill already came and made a presentation to the board, but he didn't have the weight. We didn't have a motion to bring forward. We didn't have a resolution to bring forward. I think if we build toward that in the next couple of months, putting in, designating an area would be something that would be a start. And then we look at the ADA component in year 2 or 3, just like with the pool. I mean, we didn't have a lift to get people into the pool. We only started making that progress this year.
Qualified both lifts. We have to have both. Those have qualified under block grant. I'm still working on a couple other things with them.
But what I'm saying is, we didn't put those in right away. We built toward those. And I think a lot of our projects sometimes get stalled because people kind of push us to think too big. and then we don't have the money, and we don't have the
Yeah, I
wherewithal
think
to
we
do
came in
it.
around 40 or 50,000, didn't we, when we looked at, to do that install and all that stuff that we looked at?
Yeah,
But if we simply create a designated
the ramp, the
access
actual lift,
point,
and the docking.
that might not cost
be
us
about
anything.
$31,000.
Well, the research that I did is, matter of fact, Greg, Leah, and John were part of my committee that we did all the research, and we were given I was given the responsibility by this board to go ahead and make the presentation at the township board. But I went there and just fell on dead ears, and the biggest thing that they wanted to do was to build the steps going down to that, at the end of the road end. And that's where they concentrated, and that's where it went, and everything died. We've done the research. We don't need to spend $50,000 or even try and accumulate $50,000 to build a launch
Right.
for a kayak or a canoe or a non-motorized any vessel. And I still think if we could get $2,000 to $4,000, we could do what we want to do at the south end, which is notably the safest. And we could...
Have us do something, right?
Yeah, so I want to reinstitute that, and if these members would still stay on my team, I want to work with Tim and see what we can do, because it wouldn't take us long to do what needs to be done, and the community is after us to do it.
And
So
Bill,
let's do it.
if you bring me into the loop before you
absolutely.
make a presentation, then I can work with, already inform the board members
Yes.
what's coming, and already build consensus toward having that accepted.
Yeah. Sorry to take so much time on it, but it...
No, this isn't
I keep
good.
getting- As long as I get to eat, I don't care.
All right, thanks. Uta, do you want to add anything, any more comments?
Well, I do have other comments, but just, can I add to
No more of
this?
that, no more of that.
Well, it's kind, Bill, I'm going to pull a Janowski on you guys. Bill brought it up. Bill, well, no, but what you said about the road end park, that's kind of gone off in some directions, and I think, yeah, there are some board members highly motivated to get stairs down there.
Yeah.
But what I think is important is, once the stairs are there, we still haven't identified any group, any commission, anybody to actually oversee the site, to monitor the site, to make recommendations on how to better develop the site. And I think the one thing that I want to kind of dovetail off what you said with the launch, it's the similar rec activity that maybe we put together a proposal to take to the board to recommend that comes under the oversight of the rec commission. And you can't call it a power grab, because I'm retiring in November, and so it's not like I'm trying to shove something at a committee that I sit on. I think this is, for me, it's the most realistic place, and it has the most gifted people who understand recreation and understand consensus, building a policy, that covers all the different bases. So I think that would be a logical next step, too, when we move into the direction of a kayak launch at Water's Edge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Leah, any additional comments?
Just one, in terms of Helena's, my friends Reed and Diane Ledbetter have a grandson who is running for Canada in the Olympics.
Oh.
And is very highly ranked and will probably do quite well.
Wow.
Just wanted to offer them congratulations and encouragement to that young man.
Oh, Canada. And any additional comments? Ethel? No. John?
Yes, Tim, I wanted to make sure we got township officials coming for the ceremonies.
I did get the invite out, it was a little late, but
Okay.
they are starting to respond. I'll let you know who's coming.
Who's
They'll coming? also get the list to the committee on stage,
Great.
so they can recognize them.
John, I responded to Tim. I won't be able to be there. With the election coming up, all my personal time off is gone, and I have a daughter going to college that I have to take up there. So at 8 o'clock on a Monday is just
Well, it's,
going to be tough. I'd love to be there, though,
I
but
thought it was prime time for politicians to be there.
Oh, they'll be there.
the politicians will be there.
Politicians will be there, yeah.
The township clerk just won't.
They weren't there
Okay, also, speaking of rowing and the Olympics, a former Michigan rower who rowed with my son during college days is going to be in the individual kayaking in the Olympics coming up. I'm not sure which exact event, but there'll be somebody there from Michigan.
Awesome.
We have a Mud Hens game tomorrow, leaving from Huron Township at 5:30. Also, an event that I want to let some people know about is at Yak on Saturday. There's an all-day fundraiser for Vietnam vets. Food, music, activities from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Come on out and support the Vietnam vets
Where?
at Yak Arena.
Can I say a couple of words
Sure.
about that?
Yeah.
What they're going to do is they're trying to raise money to build a Vietnam memorial on Superior Road between Jefferson and the street towards the river. And they've invited us being the Gala Committee, to come down, because we're having our Vietnam Gala this year.
Are you a Vietnam vet, Bill?
Yeah, no, I'm way, I wish I was that young. But anyway, they've invited us to come down and help promote our gala for the island
Yeah.
Vietnam salute and the rest of the military. So they've been very kind, and I did talk to the mayor, and Joe was very, very accommodating, and we've invited them to come to the gala
Awesome.
and promote their event there, too. So hoping that'll work out well for both of us.
I know. Well,
John, anything more?
yeah, I've got two Marine buddies from Vietnam days also that want to talk to you, Bill, sometime soon regarding the event coming up in our airport.
Give them my number.
Yep. Real simple. There's a lot of construction going on Telegraph right now, so the easiest route to get to Huron Township is just take Gibraltar Road all the way up to Telegraph, and then take a left, and then take a right on Will Carlton Drive, and just head right out there, and you'll see the signs for Waltz Inn, actually.
Yeah, because Van Horn is closed at Telegraph. You can't cross Van Horn at Telegraph. Yeah, it's
Well, there's a lot of-
daily torture.
Telegraph itself is a mess, so,
Yeah.
you know. That's all, guys. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, John. Tim, any additional comments?
None. Thank you for your support, though. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I just then have the last word?
Utah, any more additional comments? I got that on next on the agenda. It says right here, ask Uta.
Ask
again.
Uta if she has anything, ask Uta at the end. No, well, I've done a lot of reflecting, obviously coming to the end of my township career, and I think what I learned, what I wanted to bring forward to everyone here, and reading Tim's description of all the things that have happened just in 2 months through the rec department, that this is the one commission, the department, the staff, that more than anybody else realize and understand the value of planning and building consensus. They realize that when you want to develop a facility or a project for the township and its residents and its friends and families, that it's important not to put the cart before the horse. I think, Helena, you know that doesn't work when you put the cart before the horse. That it's important that you get all your planning in place before you start actually putting shovels into the ground. And one of the things that Tim does so well, and I know you all know it, is that he plans ahead for safety and risk mitigation with anything that we do. And we look at all those things before we actually put a shovel in the ground or a hammer in, a nail into a board. And I think that protects all of us. And when at the beginning of this term, Pam Frucci said to me, I just hate the glacial pace of government. And one of the things I answered to her is, it's so important for government to get it right. They can't afford not to cover all the bases, because the minute somebody gets hurt, all of our pocketbooks are affected, not just our hearts and our minds, but our pocketbooks. So, again, one of the most valuable lessons in all my 15 years, Tim, came from you and all of you, that we work together to create all these fine programs that are so diverse. And then on a personal note, my son Kiernan, you all know Ursula Rose, and she went to the Junior National Championships in New Jersey this summer with her Detroit Women's Rowing Association club team, made it to the semifinals. I think 4 Grosjean kids, maybe 5 were there. They're going to the Henley in St. Catharines, so that's the biggest regatta in Canada and this side of the U.S. So very exciting sport for the kids. But we have this great Gyra baseball team. I know everyone talks about football and basketball and baseball. Well, my son's not exactly a fantastic athlete. You know, he's not a jock. But he wanted to play baseball, and he lucked into 4 of the best coaches I can ever imagine. And I want everyone watching, the parents, to know what kind of men we have. You hear all these bad stories about coaches these days. Coach Petterly, Coach Moore, Coach Coquinaris, and Coach Vela have worked with their boys to build a real team, boys that support each other. They all have different levels of ability, they're all different sizes, you know, they're all 12 and 13, so you know, some are little, some are big, but they've really created this cohesive team spirit, and when they lose with class, and when they win, they're winning with class. They brought home a tournament trophy. They allowed each boy on the team to bring this massive trophy home for like a week. So it was like the Stanley Cup. So that trophy was photographed with teddy bears and gosh knows what. So, I mean, that's the value that our programs and our people bring to this community, and it's just amazing, and it's been an honor to be a part of it. So those are my personal comments.
All right, thank you. All right, with that being said, I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Bill, second by Helena. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion approved. Please volunteer in the community. Have a good night.